Hey everybody, this is Casey Maxwell with your Muse Effect for the day. So, upon doing some research and talking to some people, I got really inspired about making a video around emotional frequencies and emotional vibrations. And with that being said, stay tuned, we'll get right to it. So, our emotional body as a whole radiates on its own frequency, and that is based around the different inner work that you do for yourself, how you approach yourself with your own level of self talk, your coping mechanisms, the meditations that you use, your everyday life, the stressors in your everyday life, all the different factors that play a role in how we respond or how we react to our emotional body and the experiences around us that are happening. And so, as a whole, our emotional body radiates at its own frequency. Now, you'll often hear keywords that come up in different videos of mine and other videos with other people about lower vibrations and higher vibrations. So, emotions broke down separately in their own categories all radiate at a different vibrational level and a different frequency. And then together, the work that we do as a whole brings that emotional body together as a whole and then affects our spiritual well being and our physical well being. So, we have emotions that radiate at a lower vibrational frequency, things that we would call bad stress, forms of sadness, anxiety, depression, guilt, shame, all things that are attributed to uh, responses and effects that we have through traumatic experiences and things that happen in our everyday life. Maybe as simple as accidentally hitting an animal driving home from work, to losing a loved one, to experience being cheated on by somebody, trust issues, loyalty issues, all things that make us hurt in some way, experience pain in an emotional way, and bring us down in frequency level by how we are responding and reacting to those types of traumatic experiences. Then on the other spectrum, we have things of higher vibrational emotions like joy and hope and faith and love, of course, and the sense of peace that we feel. And these are all things that we get through random acts of kindness, through showing compassion or nurturance to the people around us and in our everyday life. In the spectrum of how things cross over, because there's some people that don't obviously believe that everything is black and white, that it's just fear and it's just love, but that there is the gray, the in between, where these experiences fuse. I've had conversations with people recently that have told me that their experiences with guilt have inspired them to make change. Now, when we talk about learning from our mistakes are often attributed to things that our emotional body have reacted to or responded to in a way that has caused some kind of guilt or shame or fear or a type of painful experience that or an embarrassing experience also by how we may be affected by others that triggers this need to jumpstart change in our life. And when we want to jumpstart change in our life, that is when the reflection on things we've experienced or mistakes that we have made come about to learn lessons in this aspect of growth. And then we can often break it down to how there is bad stress from that, and there's also good stress from that. Ultimately, I do feel that how we react and how we respond to traumatic experiences is ultimately what affects our emotional body and if we're in control of our emotional body. It's being able to recognize on a vibrational level how these lower vibrational emotions of fear and guilt and shame affect us in a negative way in our environment or in the world around us, uh, or even anger if we act out in anger, but also on the upper spectrum of things with those good vibrational and higher vibrational energies, how things are triggered, how we choose to respond and to react to those. Now, I've commonly found in my own personal experience and discussions with other people that it is easier to manifest painful experiences and traumatic things in our life when we think about a butterfly effect of a cause and effect based on how we react or respond to things within our emotional body, whether it affects our physical, our spiritual body, our environment, the world around us, or affects other people, that we manifest things quicker. Or not quicker, we manifest things more often. Now, on the up spectrum of the higher vibrational emotions and energies, when we feel love, when we feel positivity, when we control and rein in our emotions, and we try to find the positive in all things and be at our utmost optimistic self, we manifest things a lot quicker. The butterfly effect and the continuation of joy and abundance and love and peace and bliss and experiences in serenity all come at a much quicker rate. So negative happens more often, positive happens much faster, and happens at a much more heightened state and vibrational level because you are radiating at a place of great evolution and great change. You are calling in this frequency of light and love. Now, pausing on all that information, I know it can be a lot to take in, to bring up an analogy. If there are those of you that are familiar with Dr. Emoto and his studies with water and the vibrational frequencies of how water can change based on the energy that you give to that. And you can see in that research that if we are negative to our water and we tell it mean or shameful or hateful things, it is not pretty to look at. It does not look healthy. And when we give gratitude and thanks and love and hopeful and peaceful emotions to the water, they are beautiful, crystalline photos, like snowflakes, and are all unique in their own way. And also, in an analogy for some of you who are familiar with those music frequencies with art, where certain different forms of beautiful geometric and sacred geometry type of art comes forth in the different sounds and tones and vibrational frequencies of music, we start to see how it is all interconnected between our visualization of how we perceive things in this reality, in the sense of geometry and shapes and things that look beautiful and feel elegant and feel peaceful, are being experienced and magnified through all of those higher vibrational emotional frequencies. And when we're giving the energy of those lower, shameful, guilty, fearful type of aggressive emotions, those frequencies change. So you can instantly see, based on what you sing, what you listen to, what you watch, what you consume, how you think, and how you feel, can affect the genetic makeup of your physical body. Your emotional body and how you interact with your emotional body, how much in control of your emotional body you are, affects you down to your genetic makeup. Your physical body, your spiritual body, like I said earlier, the environment, the world around you, and how it affects other people. That will even change the air quality. For those of you who are familiar with paranormal experiences and how air quality can change based on energetic shifts in relation to entities giving energy, taking energy, hot spots, cold spots, and moisture in the air, EMF like electromagnetic fields, all of those things are affected. it shows the wholeness and the oneness of our interaction with each other, how energy is given and received. And I think the importance of why I wanted to make this video is to highlight that on a subconscious level and on a conscious level, we all are aware of how we interact with the world, how it's going to affect us. We instantly, the moment we not only experience something traumatic, but if we feel that we've made a mistake, if we talk to ourselves in a negative way, or if we project something aggressive or negative towards someone else out of resentment or out of fear or out of some kind of painful experience where we feel that we have been done wrong, all of those things have a cause and effect where subconsciously and consciously we instantly feel guilt because we know that we are affecting ourselves in a negative way. There's a part of us that instantly reacts to that reaction, and it causes this chain effect, which becomes a very vicious cycle or causes frustration. Now, frustration is a very ungrounded energy in the sense of an emotion, radiates at a very low vibration and upsets our grounded energy around us, where things aren't perceived to be very stable, but very wobbly and inconsistent. And it even affects the Fey world and the spirit world around us, where more mischievous entities come in and can play a role at affecting us in a negative way or attaching to our physical, emotional, or spiritual body and manipulating us even more than we've already manipulated ourselves. So really wanting to touch on all of these things shows the connectedness that we have to the world around us and to ourselves, and the power that we have by how we simply choose to feel. Now, some people think they have to go find happiness or find bliss or search for these things that we have access to at any point in time, at a moment's notice. To remember that you are happiness, that you are bliss, that there are metaphorical doors in your being, in your soul, in your storyline that can constantly be closed and opened, where things can be filtered through and approached and acknowledged. So the more that we take these forms of guilt and shame and pain or resentment or any lower vibrational emotion and feed it into a nest egg, we are blocking ourselves, and then we think we need to close the door on it, close the shutter on it, put a curtain over it, and hide it away. That is some form of dealing with the emotion by not looking at it clearly, by saying, I accept it for what it is and I put it away. Now that's a form of just escapism, kind of denial. You want to acknowledge it, and you don't want to put it away. You want to move through it. You want to embrace it in the sense that I have felt these things, and I acknowledge myself for feeling these things, and I know that I want to be in better control of it. That I know that I can rewrite my self-talk, that I can turn it around, instead of being angry towards myself or others, approach it with, I acknowledge what I have done and what I have felt, and I want to feel something different and something better. I acknowledge how I've mistreated somebody or how I have acted, and I'm going to be proactive within my self-talk and within my outward actions of making myself and that person feel better. That at a moment's notice, you have the ability to simply speak into existence something different by using the power of your self-talk and by being proactive as well. I hope this brings some insight and clarity to the butterfly effect, the chain reaction of our emotions, how we have lower vibrational emotions and higher vibrational emotions, how there's good stress and bad stress, how sometimes those bad emotions jumpstart and cross over and inspire new growth, but it's about how you approach it, how you acknowledge yourself, and how you want to make a difference in the long run for something better. Not to continue a vicious cycle of guilt or shame, but to embrace the wholeness of who you are as a person in your learning process and give yourself love and be willing to admit fault without shame and be like, okay, I've done this, I've been there, and I want to be something different. I want to make it better. And as well, when you drink your water, give it love. Get a bottle, write a word, write hope on it. When you go to listen to that next song, ask yourself, is the words that I'm listening to in that music a subconscious underlining message of how I'm really feeling, and then address that and understand why? Or is it because I'm conditioned to liking this type of music or this song? But with where I am in my life right now, what can I listen to that will bring a sense of healing and peace and inspiration into my emotional, physical, and spiritual body? How can I raise my vibrational level? Start to ask yourself the questions of the cause and effect through your response and your reactions within your everyday life and within yourself. But most importantly, remember your self talk. Remember the love that you are giving to yourself, even if it seems silly. I'm not saying go get up and look in the mirror right away and tell yourself how beautiful you are, even though that is a beautiful thing to do, but to at least empower yourself in your mind, empower yourself vocally, that it resonates throughout your whole physical body. And in that way, you're also doing body talk and you're inspiring your cells to love themselves, to expand, to heal, to regrow, to regenerate. You are empowering the entire temple and essence and the wholeness of all that you are as your own being and as your own creation, as your own creature, as your own form of light experiencing this world. And you're going out and empowering others by empowering yourself, by constantly working towards being the best that you can be and accepting what you have done and what you will do, and knowing that you can embrace it in a positive way no matter what happens, that learning process is never ending, but it's a part of a beautiful process. So shadow work is not always a negative thing, and those shadows are not always negative, but they allow us to move in and out of ourselves to want to make greater change happen. And the frequencies associated with all of those different emotions radiate at a different way. And there's going to be a subtle and silent sound that maybe we can't hear in physical reality, but that radiates out into the entire universe based on how we choose to feel. A sound, a visual, a color, those frequencies start to form and create an entire world, and not just in this world, but in all the lives and all the worlds of your entire existence. The essences of where you've made up of, the essences of what have been left behind and imprinted into the world before and into the world coming. It is very vast, and we are so interconnected that with each thought and with each feeling, that simple awareness can bring you back to centering yourself. So whether it's with meditation or with beautiful music or with the joy of holding hands with a friend, there are ways to become more empowered and to feel peace and to readdress the emotional trauma. If you have any questions or insights, I know this can be a lot of information to take in, and I can definitely keep going down the rabbit hole with it and maybe repeat the same things, 20 different ways in the last 20 minutes. But I hope it does bring some clarity and bring some enlightenment to whatever you're going through, and empowers you to want to take control of your emotion and to not continue to guilt trip yourself or to feel shame, but to acknowledge yourself and to know that it's a part of the process, and to give yourself more support. And in doing that, you will be able to support others as well. Till next time, guys.